Hello, welcome to CKE 10,001's gaming channel. In this video, we'll be looking at my Volume 1 Quintuplets deck profile. It is a gold bar choice build. So the first cards we're going to look at are the level 0s. I'm running 3 copies of Quintuplets Yotsuba Nakano. It has 2 effects. The first is activate, pay 1, discard a climax, choose a card in your clock, return to your hand, put the top card of your deck into your clock, and then choose when your characters get plus 500 power until the end of turn. And it has an activate brainstorm ability, and it searches your deck as the brainstorm resolves. Then I'm running 3 copies of Honest and Positive Yotsuba Nakano. It's a back row it's a back row card. It has 2 effects. Let me try to focus on that a bit. First is auto. At the beginning of your climax phase, you can choose one of your quintuplet characters, and that character gets 1,000 power on turn. And it has an act effect as well, where you rest 2 characters and choose one of your characters, and that character gets the following ability until the turn. When this card's battle point becomes reversed, you can put the top card of your deck into your stock. So it's a assist and stock generation. I'm running 3 copies of Worst Timing Ichika. It's a discard outlet with 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a quintuplets character, put your hand and discard a card. And the second effect is discard a quintuplet character and draw a card. Both trigger on play from hand. That's at 3 as well. Then I'm running 3 copies of the clean cut, short cut hairstyle Ichika. It has 2 effects. The first is during your turn, this card gets plus 1,000 power, and when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can choose one of your other quintuplet characters, rest it, and move it to the open position of your backstage. So weight of plus going second. And then I'm running 3 copies of Beyond Her Gaze Miku. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room. If there's a climax, choose one of your opponent's characters in the center stage, and that character gets minus 1,000 power until end of turn. The second effect is when this card is put in the waiting room, you can pay 1, take a hit. If you do, choose a quintuplet character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. Now I'm running 2 copies of the on-play tutor, Operations Doppelganger Nakano. Don't really care for the first effect, but the second effect is when this card is placed on stage from hand, look at top of your deck, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room. The second effect is on play, pay 1, discard a climax, and then choose a climax in your waiting room to your hand. So this is not the on play tutor, but on play climax swapper. Because you are running gold bar, you can use this to its full potential. I'm running 2 copies of Yotsuba Check. Yotsuba. When this card becomes reversed, if the level of this card's battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level, you may put that character in your opponent's stock. If you do, put the bottom card of your opponent's stock into their waiting room. So it's just a kind of early play punisher. 2 copies. Then your level 1 combo, 4th of the quintuplets Yotsuba Nakano. 2 effects. During your turn, this card gets plus 1,000 power, and second effect, when this card attacks, if Fake Confession is in your climax area, and you have another quintuplets character, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room, choose up to 1 level X or lower quintuplet character in your waiting room, return to your hand. X equals the total level of cards put in your waiting room by this card's effect. So it's just salvaging random cards depending on what you milled. And then I'm running 3 copies of Sparkling Smile Yotsuba. It has 2 effects. The first is during your turn, if you have 2 or more other quintuplet characters, this card gets plus 2,000 power. And then the second effect is when your other quintuplet character is frontal attack, you can pay 1, put this card in your waiting room. If you do, return this card, return the other card that was attacked character to your hand. 3 copies of that. 2 copies of By Your Side Miku. It has 2 effects. During your turn, this card gets plus 500 power for each of your other quintuplet characters. Second effect is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, discard a card, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room. If there's a climax, you may pay the cost, which is discard the card. If you do, choose one character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. Then 2 copies of Owner of the Mess Ichika. It has the first effect is continuous assist. All your other quintuplet characters in the front of this card get plus X power. X equals so that character's level times 500. Second effect is when your character trigger checks a climax of choice icon in its icon, you may discard a quintuplet character from your hand. If you do, look at top 2 cards of your deck. Choose up to one card for one of them, put it in your hand, put the rest into the waiting room. Then for level 2s, I'm running 2 copies of the Trembling and Fear Yotsuba backup. It has 2 effects, which one is the backup effect. And when you use the backup effect, you can choose when your character is in battle, and that character gets the following ability until end of turn. When this card's battle point becomes reversed, you can put that card into your opponent's memory. Running backup. Then 2 copies of Making Curry Ichika. Continuous during your turn, this card gets 15 her power for each of your other quintuplet characters. Second effect auto, when your climax with choice icon is placed on your climax area, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room, and this card gets the following ability until end of turn. When this card's battle point reverse, you may put the top card of your deck into your stock. Then 4 copies of the early play stock healer. If your waiting room has 2 or less climaxes, this gets -1 level. And this card gets 5 power for each of your other quintuplet characters. And on play, discard a card, heal the top card of your clock into your stock. And then the finisher, I'm running 4 copies of Unstoppable Feelings Ichika. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 card from one of them, add it to your hand, put the rest in your waiting room. And the second effect is Auto Climax Combo. When Surprise Approach is placed in a climax area, if you have 2 or more other quintuplet characters, you can pay 1, discard a quintuplet character from your hand in your waiting room. If you do, this card gets the following ability until end of turn. This ability activates up to once per turn. When damage put up by this card is cancelled, you may deal 2 damage to your opponent 2 times. It's a very aggressive finisher, but you have to pay the cost before you attack. So getting the resources properly beforehand is sometimes a little difficult to pull 3 off, or consistently to pull 2 off. And the last 8 cards are the climax cards. 4 copies of Fake Confession Gold Bar for your level 1 combo. Right there. And 4 copies of Surprise Approach, which is your level 3 combo. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Check EncoreDecks.com and the links in the description below to see an overview of this deck profile.